when the incessant pull of the me self, me concerned with me concerned with my thoughts, me concerned with my feelings, emotions, me concerned with my comfort or discomfort. When that incessant pull becomes tiresome because it never has any real resolution, then something calls us from within, a deeper longing, the longing to come home, the longing to come home to beingness, which is the true self. Of course, that's what we are doing here. That's why we are here gathering. That's why you are called to these meetings, because of that deeper longing. That following that deeper longing doesn't take us to some distant destination. It brings us closer and closer and closer to the true self, to beingness, which isn't somewhere outside of us or somewhere so hidden that it takes lifetimes to discover. It's right here. It's really intimate. It's the most intimate. It's more intimate than your breath. And it's available. In some ways, it's offering itself to you through everything that you experience. It's that which is essentially free. It's free of identity. It's free of gender. It's free of culture. It's free of mental conceptualization. It's free of ideology. It's free of your history. It's free of your condition. Because it's not defined by that. Neither is it constrained by that. Undefinable, unconstrained, and untainted by anything that takes place as part of your life. And yet it is found, if you like, or discovered through the portal of life, through the portal of every experience. I often speak about it as awareness, unbounded awareness. Sometimes that becomes some kind of distant background or elevated state of mind. So for this conversation, for this invitation, I'm reframing it. Because no word, no description can actually define it, because it's not an it. And remember, there are no teachings as such. There are no teachings that are set in stone, that are repeated like some kind of school curriculum. The teaching, if you like, is the pointer that takes place in each interaction, fresh. That's why I'm reframing it a little bit, although you may have heard this before in some shape or form, but I'm reframing what the unbounded awareness is, what the unbounded beingness is, and the possibility of that discovery. It's a revelation rather than a discovery. It reveals itself. When you are willing, when you are being called. Not externally, although there is no external, but seemingly either externally into the things, the objects, the activities, or internally into the things, objects, activities of mind. But you are called to stop. It doesn't mean you stop activity or you stop perception or even stop thinking. It's the stop of finding yourself in objects, in perceptions, in activities. Not finding yourself in that. In other words, not defining yourself, the me self. That's the incessant pull of the me self. My thought, my thinking, my bad thought, my good thought, my bad feeling, my good feeling, my positive feeling, my painful feeling is all being defined by that. When that becomes tiresome, when you see through that veil, then through that experience, within that experience, there comes a moment of stop. And in that, the revelation of being is possible. The revelation of that which is already free, undefined by any experience, undefined, unconstrained by the content of experience. This is a very intimate, if you like, experience, relationship with what is, with what is, with what is. The intimacy with what is not simply a kind of resignation or acceptance from the self, although it may start with that. Oh, well, this is what is. You know, this event is happening in my life, or this feeling is happening in my life. It's not simply the self saying, okay, this is happening, I finally accept it. Yes, on a surface level, on the personhood level, that is part of it. But the intimacy with what is has nothing really to do with the personhood. The intimacy with what is where it starts to become indescribable, uncontainable by any words, even though there will be some attempt here to put words to this. The intimacy with what is where subject and object collapse, where there's no more concern for the me. There's no more standing back with something happening, an object, an event, an activity happening. It's as if the me self, the entity called self, in this moment, simply is no longer here. Yet there is still perception, there is still experience, and there may still be activity. But there's no self-referencing in that, at least for a moment. There's no position taking. There's no landing place. It becomes a very intimate, vibrant aliveness that simply unfolds within you. If there is activity, it unfolds into that activity. If there is no activity, it is simply the fullness of aliveness, gentle, alive beingness within the empty field of awareness. They become one and the same. Now we can touch this or taste this more vibrantly, let's say, or more effortlessly in silence, in moments of stillness, whether that's being still in nature or walking in nature, or a moment of stillness in your home, perhaps looking at a work of art, or just simply being still, sitting in meditation, sitting in stillness, sitting in silence, and also in moments of solitude when we're not interacting with things, with people, with things, with social media, with whatever we're doing, not interacting. There are moments, many moments in our lives. Very often at the end of a relationship, at the end of some work activity, it becomes available to us. And yet these moments tend to be uncomfortable. Not always, but for many and for much of our lives, they are uncomfortable. And so we quickly move to some kind of self-referencing within the activity, another activity, even if it's the activity of thought. But in true stillness, in true silence, in true solitude, we come closer to ourselves, our true selves, as beingness. And beingness has nothing to do with your biography, your history, your birth details, or the details of your life, the circumstances of your life, nor the shape of your body, the form of your body, the color of your eyes, what gender you identify with. It has nothing to do, your education. It has nothing to do with how broken or unbroken you think you are.